And the breaking news is coming in from the Supreme Court that has ruled that the Chief Justice is the master of roster. The ruling comes during a hearing on a petition by Shanti Bhushan, which the Supreme Court has dismissed, which means that the Chief Justice of India alone is the master of roster and rules. No checks on the power of the Chief Justice of India as the master of roster. The CJI doesn't have to now consult collegium in fixing benches. Anusha Soni joins us for more on this. And Anusha, it's not the first time that the Supreme Court has reiterated or reaffirmed that the CJI is the master of roster, but doubts still arise over the transfer or the allocation of especially politically sensitive cases.
Well, Avantika, that was the entire bone of contention as far as the crisis in the Indian judiciary is concerned. Earlier, we have seen a spate of orders which came from none other than the bench of the Chief Justice of India himself. Now, interestingly, this is a bench of Justice Sikri. Very senior lawyers like Shanti Bhushan, Kapil Sibal had gotten up and said that when it comes to very important politically sensitive cases, then the Chief Justice of India must consult the other members of the collegium. However, once again, the Supreme Court is reiterating that Chief Justice of India is the master of the roster. The problems with the four judges had highlighted in that press conference of January 12th. They come. Institutional change, Avantika, is yet to come in the Supreme Court.
Absolutely, but does an uncertainty prevail? Because the doubts were raised by none other than the four senior-most judges over the manner in which cases were allocated. Fine, that now the assertion has come that the Chief Justice of India is the master of the roster and he alone decides as to who the cases go to. But then what is the role of the collegium?
Well, Avantika, nobody ever denied that Chief Justice of India is the sole authority to take the final call. The question was always that how is the Chief Justice of India asserting this authority or exercising his power?
Yes.
Most the eminent jurists wanted that there should be some sort of mechanism which should come in so that people know how exactly the cases are allocated. So clearly, as that problem and that confusion prevails as to...
And they wanted that to be done through the collegium, isn't it? They wanted that to be done through the collegium of the Supreme Court.
Consultation to be a mechanism. They wanted consultation as a mechanism to ensure that whenever there's a sensitive case and there could be apprehensions of how it is allocated, collegium members are consulted. However, that mechanism, Supreme Court is saying we can't devise it.
All right. We leave it at that, Anusha. Thank you so much for joining us. Meanwhile, a Jammu and Kashmir police constable, Javed Ahmed Dar, who was abducted by the Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists from Shopia, was found dead this morning. The police personnel's bullet-ridden body was found in a village in Kulgam. The cop was abducted by 2 to 3 terrorists from a local medical shop in Shopia around late last evening. The terrorists arrived in a Santro car. A wreath-laying ceremony will be held for the martyred constable later on in the day in Shopia. In fact, Omar Abdullah, the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, took to Twitter condemning the constable's killing. Sources say that the cop was PSO of former SSP Shopia, Shailendra Mishra. Javed Ahmed Dar was with Mishra until Thursday afternoon. This comes just after terrorists abducted an army man, Aurangzeb, from a village in Pulwama. His body was later recovered from Gusu village of the district on the very same day. An imam was also shot by unknown assailants in Pulwama today.
देखिए, जम्मू कश्मीर में शांति हो, अमन हो और जम्मू कश्मीर में विकास के साथ लोग जुड़ना चाहते हैं। ये जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों का भी यही प्राथमिकता है, प्रायोरिटी है और मैं मानता हूँ कि कुछ ऐसी हताश निराश ताकतें ज़रूर हैं जो जम्मू कश्मीर के शांति को नुकसान पहुँचाने की कोशिश करते हैं।
आतंकवादियों के ठिकानों को ध्वस्त किया है, आतंकवादियों की सप्लाई लाइन सारी काट दी गई है। बोखलाहट के अंदर आकर उन्होंने हमारे वीर सैनिक जावेद अहमद डार को किडनैप किया और बाद में उसकी निर्मम हत्या की गई। ये दरिंदे कर सकते हैं और इन सबको चुन चुन के मौत के घाट उतारेंगे। सेना ने सारे शोपियान और कुलगाम एरिया को कॉर्डन ऑफ कर दिया गया है। पुलवामा का एरिया हो, चाडूरा का एरिया हो, एक बहुत बड़ा लार्ज स्केल पर मैसिव हंट ऑपरेशन इस समय सेना ने शुरू किया है।
दिस इज सैड, ट्रेजिक, कंडेमनेबल. Is not a policeman in ordinary circumstances. There is a governor rule. There is no local government. And even now, if policeman is not safe, how I could be safe? How a common man could feel safe?
I think the state should respond in a manner that would be appropriate, both in terms of investigation and apprehending the perpetrators, the terrorists, and carrying out a kind of retribution that would serve as a deterrent. And I'm saying this very, I would say, as objectively as I can, because I think one of the indicators is the credibility of the state.
Shuja ul Haq joins us for more on this. Shuja, this is a very unfortunate incident which also, exposes a dangerous trend of how security personnel are being targeted. This incident comes barely weeks after the defense minister had met with the family members of rifleman Aurangzeb, and now we get to hear about the death of this cop.
Well, that's right. This incident comes just days after that similar incident which happened with the soldier, Aurangzeb, last month. It was almost a similar manner that, Javed Ahmed was also abducted when militants came in a vehicle and then they picked him up. Later on, there were pictures that were circulated on social media and subsequently his body was found. Now, most of the people in the security establishment feel that this is a dangerous trend that seems to have started and they need to do something about it. Having said that, there are, Avantika, already guidelines and advisories that have been sent across by the J&K police and other security forces to its men to follow, while they are on leave or are going for leave. Whether in this particular case those guidelines, those rules were followed or not is something that we'll have to find out later on. But at this point of time, as you can see in these pictures as well, his funeral has taken place, the family members have spoken out, and the police is saying that they're investigating the entire case and will soon find out who was behind it.
All right, Shuja, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us. Despite the Supreme Court's crucial judgment on the ongoing power tussle in Delhi, the transfer of bureaucrats continues to be the latest flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party and the bureaucracy. Top sources claim that the Delhi government is deliberating now to move the Supreme Court if the Chief Secretary does not abide by the decision on the postings. The government sources feel that bureaucrats are in no mood to work under direct orders from the Chief Minister, who will be meeting with the Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal later today over the simmering issue after writing to him. Meanwhile, the Lieutenant Governor's office is also seeking some clarity from the Ministry of Home Affairs about the Supreme Court's verdict. The sources suggest that the Home Ministry might soon issue direction in this regard. Hours after the Supreme Court verdict, Delhi government issued inter-department postings, with the Secretary Services forwarding the order to the Chief Secretary, who sent it back saying that they don't have enough clarity about the same. Top Delhi bureaucrats claim that Ministry of Home Affairs notification hasn't been struck down just as yet.
Nobody stopped you from delivering on water. Nobody stopped you from Jal Board from working. Nobody stopped BSES from putting up transformers. Nobody has stopped you from cleaning roads. Nobody has stopped you from maintaining roads. Nobody has stopped you from giving good education, and nobody stopped you from giving health care. So end of the day, the factor is that you cannot do illegal and make those illegal orders as legal under the garb of smoke screen of LG.
देखिए, ये दोनों तकरार करके दिल्ली की जनता को परेशानी में डाल रहे हैं। 4 साल से वैसे भी कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है दिल्ली में, तो कन्फ्रंटेशन छोड़ के विकास की बात करनी चाहिए। और दोनों दलों ने कॉरपोरेशन पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी का तीनों कब्जा है, दिल्ली की असेंबली पर और सरकार पे आम आदमी पार्टी का कब्जा है, और ये दोनों दिल्ली की जनता का काम करने के बजाय अपने टग ऑफ वार में दिल्ली की जनता को परेशानी में डाले हुए हैं। ये बहुत ही अफसोसनाक बात है।
Pooja Shali joins us for the latest on the recent developments. Pooja, it seems that despite the Supreme Court's verdict, a confrontation is brewing between the political establishment and the bureaucracy in the national capital. What can one expect from this meeting between the Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor?
Avantika, first update. Presently, Arvind Kejriwal has announced that one of the pet projects, which was initially facing objections from the Lieutenant Governor, which was door-to-door step delivery of rations, has now been cleared. He's saying, I have overruled all the objections. So the first project, they're seeming to put forth that we are beginning to work already. But there are a lot of projects, Avantika, remember, which are still stalled, like the CCTV, a lot of health projects as well. So as of now, what government sources are saying, that the bureaucrats will continue to show their loyalty, it seems, to the union government, which appoints these officers. But the bureaucrats are also saying, until we get further clarity about what precisely is the role of services, can it be completely under the Chief Minister's jurisdiction? Are we still then answerable to the MHA or union government? So there are these sort of blurred lines that still need to be cleared. But Delhi government feels after the Supreme Court verdict, nothing has to be cleared anymore. So yes, after the LG and verdict regarding that issue, the confrontation has now moved closer home to the Secretariat with regard to directly with the bureaucracy. So we'll wait and watch how the Chief Secretary takes this further. But as of now, it seems some projects have started to put forth.
Very interesting. So the tussle continues. Pooja, just kindly stay on with me. There's some breaking news also that has just come in. Well, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has issued his first big order after the Supreme Court verdict. He has tweeted, and I quote, approved doorstep delivery of rations, overruled all objections to the proposal, directed Food Department to start its implementation immediately. So this is a big one, Pooja. This is one of their primary programs, the door-to-door delivery of rations. And now Arvind Kejriwal making it very clear that the implementation has to start immediately.
So initially, Avantika, some objections had come with regard to the proposal from the Lieutenant Governor's office. How are you planning to implement it? Which are the groups that will be coordinating in it? Is there a possible chance of any misuse here in this scheme? So it had been stalled, but it seems immediately Arvind Kejriwal has decided to start this project. It will be also followed by some developments in the CCTV project as well. But also remember, the bone of contention remains. While some projects can start already, it is about the services and the interdepartment postings of the bureaucrats that Arvind Kejriwal will, as of now, have or would want to have complete authority over. But that is the order that the Chief Secretary and the Secretary Services are not willing to clear. They are saying till we have enough details, we will not clear it. So yes, while projects seem to be starting to work, we'll wait and watch if more projects now come forth.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much, Pooja, for joining us. And it's a daring rescue mission to save those teenagers who have been trapped inside that cave for just so many days, along with their soccer coach. A former Navy SEAL who volunteered to the rescue of those young children has unfortunately died due to the suffocation. So this is one big setback to the ongoing rescue mission. The former SEAL commander, Saman Gunan, died after the efforts to revive him proved to be unsuccessful. Gunan, in fact, had been assisting in the rescue efforts as a volunteer. He was only 38 years old. Rescue operations have now entered day 14. Volunteers from other countries have also pitched in. They too have been arriving at the site of the rescue operation as authorities are taking all measures to try and boost the morale of those young little boys who are still trapped inside the cave along with their coach. Rescuers on Thursday pushed equipment, including life jackets, to and from the flooded cave.
I can dive and I can translate. I speak Thai fluently and Hebrew and English. So I hope that will be some kind of help that I can dive with the divers and translate.
It is a race against weather and time. 12 young boys trapped in a cave in northern Thailand for 13 days and counting. Along with them, their 25-year-old coach. They were found 9 days after a massive search operation was launched, but how long before they are rescued? As rains close in, time is running out fast for the 13-member soccer team who went missing on 23rd June. It's a massive rescue operation. Experts from at least 6 countries, led by Thai Navy SEALs, are working tirelessly to get the boys out. Teams of divers, medics and counsellors have been assisting in this mammoth task. But if locating the soccer team proved to be a tough ask, rescuing them is turning out to be even tougher. To keep the morale of those trapped high, telephone lines have now been set up inside the cave so that boys can talk to their families. Game activities and group discussions are also being designed. High-powered lights are being used to keep track of day and night. The boys are also being administered a heavy protein liquid diet and heavy dose of antibiotics. Above ground, frantic operations are on to ensure that the soccer team is brought out of the cave safely. But what are the plausible options? The boys and their coach first must be taught how to swim. After that, they must be trained in using scuba diving equipment. It's the fastest option, but also the most dangerous, as the boys have to navigate through narrow passages all on their own. It's a lot of ask for these teenagers, as diving into the cave has proven challenging even for experts. Option 2. The group can be airlifted out by drilling a narrow shaft. But in the hilly area, it is a challenge to move equipment and also to find the exact coordinates of the spot. The third and the last option. The trapped group can be supplied with food and medical help till the water level recedes in the cave. But this could actually take months. As a stopgap measure, rescuers have blocked the entrance to the cave to prevent any fresh flooding. Unfortunately, the weatherman has predicted more rains from 7th till 12th July. As Thailand waits with bated breath to ensure a safe return of their own, 2 British divers, Richard Stanton and John Wallington, are being hailed for tracking the trapped team on 2nd of July. While 50-year-old Stanton is a fireman and has taken part in such daring rescues before in France and Mexico, his teammate Wallington, who is in his 40s, is an IT consultant from Bristol in UK. He's a keen marathon runner who has participated in joint missions like this with Stanton before as well. Divers are navigating the dark flooded tunnels, a round trip which takes as long as 11 hours, all in the hope that the 12 young boys and their coach are finally brought to safety. 13 days on, Thailand is praying that there is light at the end of this dark tunnel and that the ordeal is over soon. Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, in a big setback for fugitive liquor baron Vijay Mallya in the 9,000 crore loan default case, the UK court has now ruled in favour of the consortium of Indian banks. In its order, it has allowed the Indian banks to search and take control of the assets belonging to Vijay Mallya. It has even allowed the enforcement officers to use reasonable force to enter Vijay Mallya's properties if necessary. The fugitive billionaire has been fighting extradition to India on fraud and money laundering charges. Vijay Mallya will next appear at the Westminster Magistrates Court in his extradition trial on the 31st of July for the oral closing summons.
Indian banks. That is yesterday's. It's now a whole thing. Now it's extradition has to take place. Yes, fine. Now we'll sell his property and give those who have dues with him get their money.
What is happening in the case of Mr. Vijay Mallya? Mr. Modi should explain to the country. He is speaking on every issue. But why can't he explain what efforts the government of India has taken, what response government of India got from other countries, particularly UK, why things are not moving as we expect? Prime Minister should explain, or Finance Minister should explain.
Let me go straight across now to India Today's executive editor, Meetu Jain. Meetu, so now that permission has been given to search his home and recover his assets, how optimistic are the investigating agencies to recover the money that he owes to Indian banks?
Well, of course, the option is there where the banks are concerned. They can go and seize some of his properties. And remember, even that property called Lady Walk, which he actually bought from F1, racer Lewis Hamilton, is actually all being bought with the taxpayers' money. But that's not important. What is important, Avantika, is on the 31st of July, when the matter comes up the extradition matter comes up for hearing, Vijay Mallya is going to be taking the stand that, he's going to be playing the victim. He's going to be saying that neither the courts in London nor the courts in India are willing to allow him to sell his assets and defreeze them so that he can sell them and pay back. So essentially, he is the poster boy of, he's being, victimized politically, and he is being made the poster boy, a lightning rod for public anger. This is the stand he's going to be taking. So essentially, while this may be seen as a victory for the banking sector in India, essentially it is a strategic move on the part of Vijay Mallya to play the victim card and hope for some kind of relief where his extradition proceedings are on.
All right. Thanks so much, Meetu, for getting us more information.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.